framework for the book, there's one other framework that I want to offer. And this is my training as a political psychologist. So this is research on cognitive psychology. It's not research on race or gender or class or even on politics. It's research on how our brains work. And the first time I encountered this research, I found it fascinating. It's what we call field dependency studies. And dependency here is not political dependency or economic dependency, and field is not the political field, right? It's literally our visual, perceptual field. What we see and how what we see impacts how we figure out where we are in space. So these are some of the coolest, if you know these cognitive psychology researchers, some of the coolest studies you can imagine. They would take a subject into a room, and it was dark, and they flipped the light on. When the light was flipped on in the room, all of the angles of the room were crooked. So the walls, instead of meeting at 90 degrees, would meet off kilter, and the door jamb would be off kilter, and all of the pictures on the wall would be hung at an angle. Everything around you would be off kilter to a particular angle. And you as a subject would be sitting in a chair, like if you've ever been to Universal Studios, you know, those chairs that move, right? Your responsibility as a subject was to find the straight up and down. So everything around you, everything in your perceptual field is off kilter. Your responsibility is to see if you can figure out what is straight up and down. Now, some people are field independent, and despite all these crooked images around them, they're able to find the straight up and down. But most people, the vast majority of us, are field dependent. And when all the stimuli around us tell us that the world is tilted like this, we can tilt ourselves as much as 45 degrees, but experience ourselves perceptually as straight up and down because we're in line with the crooked images. Again, this is not research on race. It's not research on gender. It's not research on politics. For the first time I encountered this, I said, oh, that is just like being a black woman in America, right? This consistent experience of walking around in a room where everything is off kilter, where everything that you expect to meet at 90 degrees is actually meeting at about 62, where that picture looks about right, but you kind of have to do like this to be able to see yourself in it. That the field, the perceptual field for African American women is literally off kilter. And so the claim I make in Sister Citizen is that resource disparity work is real political work. Running for office is real political work. Being on the school board is real political work. But it's also real political work to just try to find one's authentic sense of self in a social, political, and historical environment that is going to keep giving you back negative images and crooked ones. And